Exactly.
We fuck around.
Not
and
today,
move
though.
past that.
Not today.
Man,
Hey,
the Cowboys,
too,
bro.
so. Oh,
Hey,
man, I gotta
Jerry
check
making
them out.
some bread.
Yeah,
Jerry making bread, bro. That Netflix special is fire, and then he over here fucking trading Micah. Yeah, he's real.
Yeah, man. I gotta holler at my boy. I gotta do a wellness check because my boy's a Cowboys fan. So. And I hate the Cowboys. Oh, I hate the Cowboys. So.
This just sad, dog. That's just sad.
I be reveling. Anytime they do something stupid, I'll be, oh my God.
Hey, bro, we be talking about Raiders shit, but a week before the season, though, that's crazy.
No, but that's exactly what happened to the Raiders.
Crazy.
That's exactly what happened to the Raiders.
Oh,
like
shit,
literally,
I didn't realize it was that soon to a Pharaoh.
Me either.
Yeah, man. But you know, it is what it is because you know, Cowboy fans, you know, they always be talking a lot of shit, acting like they about to win the Super Bowl.
They deserve it. Yeah, no, they deserve it.
And they all and then you know the mass media always talking about them because there's so many Cowboys fans and it's just
Facts.
you know, it is what it is. But hey, don't forget to clock in, like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Here we go.
Great Pharaoh. The gift of Troy is a fabulous fabric from the land of the 5 rivers.
Years ago, when we came to Los Angeles, I really believed that the greatness of the Raiders would be in its future.
We are back for another edition of Around the Shield. Man, we got a special guest. We got the Raider Rundown in the building, man. My guy.
Appreciate y'all, man. Always a pleasure, man, when I can hop on with the fellas, man.
Man, facts, man. It's been a minute, but hey, look, we're going to have a great show. We got a great show lined up, and we had another special guest that we were able to talk to as well. We'll get into that, man. Salute to everybody pulling up. Make sure to clock in. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. We're going to have a good conversation. Let's not waste any time. But you know what? Let's salute to everybody pulling up, man. The numbers in the building, man. Appreciate you coming through. Raider Resistance in the building. We got Yaya Hatamaki in the building, man. Salute. Brimblood in the building, man. Appreciate you coming through. Man, we appreciate everybody pulling up, man. It's going to be a great show. You know, before we get into, our spiel and our conversation, we actually were able to talk to Marcus from Tape Don't Lie. So it's always good to talk to him, and he's a film guy. Yeah. So definitely check out Tape Don't Lie. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to that channel. But we had a chance to salute EJ, man. Appreciate you coming through. Salvatore in the building, man. Appreciate you coming through. But yeah, we're not gonna waste any time. We're gonna go ahead and get into that conversation that we had with Marcus, man. Here we go. We are back, and we got a special guest. We got Marcus, Mark John, NFL Tape Don't Lie. You already know the name, man. Like, he's in the building. We got a good conversation coming up, man. We got a lot to talk about. This whole week has been like just news after news. I mean, starting with obviously the Raiders. That's the relevant info on this channel, and obviously Marcus too as well. But let's start off with the big news with Micah Parsons getting traded from the Cowboys to the Green Bay Packers. Did you see that coming?
No, I did not see the Packers coming. And it's crazy how, Jerry Jones put himself in that position where he had to trade Micah Parsons. You know what I mean? Like, that's something that you shouldn't have to do. And, the Raiders, they traded Khalil Mack, of course. And, we know about that, how that feels. But, I really feel like they're more out of position. Like, it's not like with John Gruden when he came in, he was the GM and, all that stuff. And he was making all the decisions. They had a new coach and, he's trying to, put his foot down or whatever. I mean, this is Jerry Jones controls everything, right? So Jerry Jones runs everything. He makes all the decisions, so he decided that, he wanted to get rid of Micah Parsons, which I think is crazy. But, you got to find some way to make the money. And then, they gave Dak all that money and, that $60 million. And then, Josh Allen, he's making less money now than that. So it's kind of a very high mark at this point. And, we're going to talk about Amari Cooper. He had to trade Amari Cooper at one point, that kind of, took his offense down a little bit. So he hasn't really been handling things the best over there. And you kind of just, he's in control. And the Cowboys are going to be the Cowboys the way they are until he loses control. So.
Yeah, man, I feel for Cowboys. I mean, I want to say it because as like Raider fans, team that if you follow this team long enough, like we could relate to that whole situation, like that Khalil Mack right before the season start, especially when you hear beat writers say, "Oh, no, that's never going to happen," and then 30 minutes later, Khalil Mack news drops and he gets traded. So I know the crazy thing is that you wouldn't think a guy like him would get traded. And that happens in sports all the time. You would never think a guy like, Dallas sports is taking a hit, by the way. I just want to put that out there.
Man.
It's the last 12 months have been wild. But rough. You would never think that Micah Parsons would get traded. He's like a blue chip player, generational talent. I mean, like when you look at his stats, like from Pro Bowls every season, like the amount of sacks he's had. I mean, if you had to choose between, and I know this is crazy, but if you had to choose between Max, who do you feel like is a better player, Max or Micah Parsons? Just to give people an idea of how good a talent he is, because it's close. It's close.
Yeah, as a pass rusher, Michael Parsons is a better pass rusher. Right? Yeah. But as an overall defender, Max is probably better because Mike Parsons' problem is, he doesn't play the run very well. And, the game where that kind of showed up is where they played the Bills a couple years back. And the Bills just ran directly at him. That would never happen with Max. Nobody's running at Max. They're trying to run away from Max. Max is making, those crazy plays on the opposite side of the field. I know in preseason people did, but, they're just going through the motions. But in a game, he's making them across the field because they're not running at him. And the Bills, they ran right at Micah Parsons. But as a pass rusher, Micah Parsons is different. So it's I'm not saying Max is a bad rusher. He's a great pad rusher, but he's not Micah Parsons when it comes to that area.
Yeah, he doesn't have that elite explosiveness that Micah Parsons has. It's crazy. But one of the reasons why I brought it up is because the Raiders were actually in on the trade. I don't know how much you buy that, but they, from what reports are saying, that the Raiders actually made an attempt, but obviously they were outbid by Green Bay ultimately. Do you feel like it would have been a good idea to trade for Mike? Because I'm not gonna lie, like that trade that Green Bay was able to get from, that's doable.
Yeah,
that's a doable trade for a player of Micah Parsons' caliber. But do you feel like it would have been a fit to make a trade at this moment in time for the Raiders?
Not really, because I mean the Raiders aren't good enough for them to do that. I mean the Packers are they're in the playoffs last year. They're ready to go, right? So that's the type of move you make when you're ready to win. And if the Raiders, that's the thing. Like you look at the Raiders roster and then you look at the way their minds are thinking. It's like, okay, are you guys in win now mode, or like what are you guys doing? So it's a little iffy. I mean, if you're going to go get Micah Parsons, that's win now mode. You're like, we're going to win now, right? Then we have a window, right? Because you pay Micah Parsons, and then Max Crosby's getting older, and those things are happening, right? That's a window thing, in my opinion. Like, and that's what the Packers are in. Okay, we're in a window where we have these young players, these young talent. We got Josh Jacobs. He's going to get older. All these guys around him. They got rid of Kenny Clark, who's an older player, right? But the Raiders aren't in win now mode to give up draft picks. Like, I mean, we need defenders. I mean, I need some good young players in here that on defense. So I feel like they went all offense on this draft, which kind of surprised me. But man, I mean, can we get a linebacker first before we trade Parsons? You know what I mean? Like, can we get like a starter, like a young guy? We're like, oh, we got a young guy at that position, great. We got a young guy at this position, great. We got a young guy at this position, great. And that's what the Packers have, some of that, right? They got some good young corners. They got good young defensive ends around him. And they have a good young offense. So they have a window they're trying to win in, and the Raiders aren't there yet for them to make that trade. But I wouldn't have been mad at it. I've been like, yeah, let's go, right? But it kind of puts you into the mind of Spytek and Carroll. Like, okay, you guys are in win now mode, but like, you guys didn't get any corners or safeties in free agency or the draft. Like, so it's weird. I don't know.
Go ahead.
I think people are. I mean, even though he's older, he's 29. I think he'll be 30 this year. But people are underselling how good of a player Kenny Clark is, and it doesn't justify the trade, but it just lets you know that we don't have the assets to do that. Like we don't have a Kenny Clark to be like, all right, we can give you this guy who's an impact defender at a premium position, especially in today's NFL, to go along with these picks. Like it'll just be picks with like, so we'd probably have to give up even more picks to get a guy like, so like Kenny Clark is like a low first, early second round, like valuable pick.
Yeah.
Like 100%. We don't have that. So we it'd take another second or another first to pull that move off. And plus you look at the Packers on defense, who are they paying, right? They already got rid of Jair, who went to the Ravens. Like they're not paying anybody on defense. So like they can afford to pay a guy like Micah Parsons. We're already paying Max, a bunch of money. We don't seem to want to pay anybody else, I guess, but we're already paying Max a bunch of money. Yeah. So like, I don't think just structurally, when you have a finite amount of resources, you don't want to put that much money on your defensive line, even though we are, not paying Christian Wilkins possibly anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, man, and it's crazy too because you mentioned that like, it puts you in the mind of Spytek and Carroll. But what's kind of interesting is that I think Spytek, which makes sense, a GM is going to always look ahead. They're going to look way ahead. They're going to always want to look to the future, 5 years. That's what they're supposed to do. But you can tell there's a little bit of a struggle there with Pete Carroll. And a lot of coaches, obviously, they want to win now because they know that they're judged ultimately by wins and losses. Mm-hmm. But especially Pete Carroll, man. The man is like 75 years old, and he wants to win now. And it made sense. It made sense because you hear Vinny talk about what was like the ultimate determining factor of getting Amari Cooper. Pete Carroll was the guy pushing for Amari Cooper. He was trying to get this deal a long time ago, and Severe is funny because he's like, man, we caught Pete Carroll lying a few times during the offseason. But Pete Carroll's always he's gonna to everybody else, he's gonna keep it super positive, and try to make it seem like everything is fine, but in reality, their actions speak louder than words. And if he was trying to get Amari Cooper, in the building for a while now, Does that tell you a little bit about how they feel about their receiving core, especially Dante Thornton and guys like that?
A little bit, not as much like Dante Thornton, but how they feel about the depth, and it also tells me I think they're going to pass a little bit more than we think. To bring in Amari Cooper, because you got to think when they had the wide receivers that they had in camp. I mean, they only kept 4 of them. I mean, they cut. I mean, people are like, "Oh, how many guys they keep on wide receiver?" I'm like, they kept 4 and added 1. They really didn't just kind of keep Alex Bachman or anybody like that. And those are the type of guys you don't want playing as much. You kind of feel, Alex Bachman, I know it's a good story, but if he's out there, you feel a little iffy about the wide receiver core, right? So, it's better to have Amari Cooper come in as a depth player than anything else. No matter what you say he has left, I mean, to have him, if somebody goes down, you got Amari Cooper coming in. It's not bad at all. So that brings depth to that position, but it kind of tells me how they feel about Geno and, how Geno's looked. That they might want to pass a little bit more. I'm not saying they're not going to run a lot, but I think they're going to try to pass early and then run late, kind of do those type of things. And I think that's what their goal is going to be, because I think they pass protected pretty well in the preseason too. So they kind of feel very comfortable about the offensive line as well. So yeah, I think they're just going to pass a little bit more than we think. But yeah, bringing in Amari was just a depth thing, because if they had guys go down, I mean, they didn't really have anybody that was true depth. After that, I mean, you have Jack Besh come in there. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Do you play Alex Bachman, or do you keep Philip Dorsett? You know what I'm saying? So that's why they did that, I think, in my opinion.
So, man, if anybody follows you on Twitter, if you don't, or X, if you don't already, make sure you go follow him at the Mark John. You put a tweet out talking about Amari Cooper, and I think I responded because, Amari Cooper's time in Buffalo, he was looking more like Cynthia Cooper out there. I don't know how much do you think he has left in the tank, and what do you think he will be able to bring to this team?
I think it left in the tank. I think speed wise is kind of done. Right, you're not going to see him beat anybody deep like we used to. Even with these running those routes, right? Sometimes he would run beat somebody up bad off the line and he'd be able to keep that separation. You can't do that anymore. One of the clips I posted in the thread, I said it was classic Cooper because we've seen him win off the line like that, but it also became a tight catch because he's not as fast. So I think that's a big part of it. So I think the Raiders, they got to play him inside. Because if you're playing him outside, he's not going to win as much. Banks was giving him a lot of trouble from the Giants. You know what I mean? And he's not the greatest corner in the world, but he's a upcoming corner, right? And he was all over Amari. And if Deshaun Watson, who actually I guess he had a decent game in that game, it didn't hit some dimes to him, then it was really tight coverage. It had to be a perfect pass. Carroll, Banks was all over him. So yeah, he just has that. That speed is gone. That explosiveness is gone. You're not going to get a lot of yak from him. He's going to be a type of guy that, you're kind of just, in certain situations, maybe you can get him up with some safeties and things like that. But, it's not, I wouldn't expect some kind of superstar to come in here and just be, old school Amari Cooper, because it's really not about his route running or anything like that. To me, it's the speed. And you can talk about injuries and things like that. But, I watched week 1 and week 3. I mean, when he was healthy, right? I mean, against the Giants. Yeah. I'm saying week 3 was against the Giants. So, he was healthy, right? I mean, nobody was saying he's injured then. I mean, you talk about in Buffalo, he's a little injured there. But I think what happened in Buffalo, which I'm a little worried about when I watched the film without him in Buffalo, is he wasn't picking up the offense quick. And if that happens here, you see what they're doing to JPJ. I mean, I don't know how many targets he's going to end up getting if he doesn't pick it up quick enough. So that was his problem with the Bills. Him and Josh Allen, Josh Allen would go deep, he would go short. He would be going deep, Josh Allen would go short. He wasn't picking up what they wanted him to do. And so the targets kept going down as the season went along, and then he wasn't getting any targets by the conference championship game. So yeah, that made me a little bit worried about him too. I mean, if he can't pick up a West Coast offense that quick, especially since he's been in the West Coast offense for I don't know how long, right? It's gonna be interesting to see what he can do out there.
You don't think that it's tougher for a wide receiver, especially in NFL? It's not like the NBA where you can trade for a player and they can show a show level impact. You don't think it's harder outside of a pass rusher or anything like that to make an impact? Wide receivers just come in and learn a whole playbook. Literally everybody on the team has been preparing for this season and learning the whole playbook, and they're coming in the middle of the season. They have to basically be on the same page with the quarterback chemistry, timing? You don't think that matters?
It does matter, but there's certain situations where when you're reading with the quarterback in certain systems, I don't know, Joe Brady's system has more like a reading thing where like, okay, if a guy's off you, you're gonna do a comeback. If the guy's pressing on you, you're gonna do a go. And like sometimes Amari Cooper still be doing a go against off coverage, and then Josh Allen throw the comeback, and then or the guy's playing press coverage and then he's doing a comeback and then Josh Allen's throwing over his head. So it's kind of like those smaller things. So he should know a route tree and West Coast terminology and things like that, but it's more like the keys that you have to read with the quarterback in certain offenses. So that's really more it's about. I don't know how much Chip Kelly is, very quarterback friendly. So things are a lot more easier, I think, on the players. It allows them to play a little bit faster, but we'll see how it works for Amari.
I mean, just hearing Alex Bachman talk about the offense, one of the things he said is that Chip Kelly offers his wide receivers a lot of flexibility in the routes. So, like, it sounds like essentially the exact same situation. That he'll have more time throughout the season, but it's going to be the same situation where, hey, you know what, him and the quarterback have to be on the same page in terms of what they're going to do, and if they're not on the same page, we saw that happen with that Aiden O'Connell pick he was trying to hit Alex Bachman, where Alex Bachman set down his route in that zone. Instead of continuing it based on what the coverage was, Aiden O'Connell didn't see it, Alex Bachman did, and it results in a pick. So, hopefully that's not something that occurs here with Amari.
Yeah, man, I think it's interesting that you mentioned that he's more of an inside player. You know what I mean? Like, I would think that like maybe he can give you some value on the outside, is because I feel like that's where we kind of need a little bit, because we have plenty of inside players. But you're saying that he's going to come in, he's going to strictly play in the inside, or is he going to have that ability to go outside as well?
I would say I hope they plan on playing him inside. That would be my hope. Like I'm not going to. I mean, he just can't win outside like he used to. That's the thing. Like it's like watching him get locked up and pressed was weird for me to watch, because even when he was with the Cowboys, I still watch Amari Cooper a lot, and just watching him get locked up and pressed by like number 14 from the Rams. I had to go look who he was. I had to go look him up, and he was locking. You know what I mean? Locking him up, pushing him to the sideline. It hurt a little bit, but and that even happened when I was watching him in the summer too, because I did this whole quarterback thing, and I was watching Josh Allen. I was watching the Rams game, and I saw some of the plays he was making. I was like, ugh, man, I don't know if you should do this anymore. And then the Raiders signed him, so here we are. But to me, like when he did well with the Bills is when they moved him inside, and then you can get him on if a team's you're playing like the Chargers, right? They play a lot of quarters. You can get him on a safety, and he can do his thing. It's off coverage. He ain't got to worry about that. Safety's not gonna hang out with him right now, right? But outside corners give you able to press him and do a couple of those things. But I don't know exactly what their plan is, but that's what I hope it is. So just make it a little bit more versatile inside, maybe.
Ooh, okay, so he's just
you're not inspiring a lot of confidence right now. I mean, I'll tell you right now, you're not inspiring a lot of confidence to me, Marcus. You got Jack Bech and Amari Cooper, both can't win outside.
Yeah. It sounds like he's gonna be a nice, guy off the bench for Jacoby whenever he needs a breather. That's what it sounds like. And then, but he does come with some experience. He is a good route runner. Maybe he could help a Dante Thornton in that department as the season goes along, because it's damn near the entire offseason, Raider Nation, everybody watching was thinking that Dante's going to be a starter. He might be, but it sounds like right now, like on defense, Pete Carroll said that it's going to be like at opposite Eric Stokes, it's going to be like a rotating situation with corners, so they might do the same thing with Dante, and rotate maybe Amari there or whatever the case may be, but we'll see. But you mentioned JPJ, and you talked about not picking up the offense. Do you think that's the issue with JPJ and why he's not the starting center, which we all thought he was going to be going into the season, literally like training with Gino at center and texting people and putting it on social media? That got to be like a little ego hit right there.
Huge ego hit. But I mean, there's probably some other things that we don't know about. For sure. I mean, that Pete Carroll doesn't like, right? So the thing is, if you go watch old Pete Carroll press conferences, you could tell he doesn't like a player, right? I mean, he's not a big fan of JPJ. right? And then, if Alex Kappa didn't get hurt, who knows what happens with that, right? I mean, that was a big factor in that, was Alex Kappa getting hurt. But, it was funny. I mean, there really was a center battle for like a week. I mean, remember they're going back and forth for like a week, and then Jordan Meredith just won that super quick. So I think it has a lot to do with that, being able to know the keys, know exactly, what you're calling out, because with a new offensive line coach and a new offensive coordinator, you're going to have different, what I would say, like blocking protections and things like that. Things like Chip Kelly likes to do with his blocking. He's going to want to implement that. Things that Brendan Carroll likes to do. They're going to want to implement that stuff. So if he's not picking it up quick, and he's not being able to read things and understand who's blitzing and who's doing those things and being able to call things out, get the line set up, because the center is a leader of the offensive line. That's the leader, right? I mean, you get the quarterback's leader of the offense. The leader of the offensive line is the center. So they obviously felt like there's some kind of leadership issues there too, where he's not understanding things. And, also I think the short arms from Jordan Meredith had a lot to do with it. Just being these guys are kind of like sticklers for measurements and things like that. And he just doesn't have the arms to play guard in the NFL if you really want to go there. And, that's why he went undrafted. And I think that had the big factor into it too, in that he had history of playing center, and they probably really liked his film because he put out good film last year. So, I think that has a factor with it too, but I think it's a lot of JPJ just not picking it up, and I think it's a little bit of him being in the doghouse.
Man, that's interesting.
Yeah, because I mean, like I said, I don't think they handled the JPJ situation well at all. That's been one of my biggest criticisms of it, and then it's continued. Like even recently, he spoke and he went out of his way to say the only reason Jackson is starting is because Kappa has not been here healthy. That's the only reason. Like, he went out of it. Like, you don't got to say that. You do not have to say that at all. You just say, hey, we're moving forward with our best five, right? Who we think is our best five right now puts us in the best position to win. But he made sure he let everybody know, like, yo, he don't really win his job. He only got it by default. It's like, I mean, I like I said, I don't think he handled that situation well at all. But we'll see. We'll see. I think the best five out there are the guys we have now. They're not all in the exact spots we thought they'd be, but I do think we settled on the best five.
100%. I agree with that.
Yeah, it's funny too, because like we found out over the offseason that like Max and JPJ had an issue. Like during the season, there was an issue between them. I didn't know that. Obviously, it came out like during the offseason, but they were kind of explaining like, oh, now they're good and they're buddies, and he hosted his podcast while he was gone, and yada yada yada. But it's just like what happens behind closed doors is probably not what you're gonna see like what's out on Front Street, So we don't know what happens behind the closed doors, and for whatever reason, I don't know why JPJ would be in the doghouse with Pete Carroll. Like that's just like the weirdest situation outside of the things that you mentioned, obviously the not getting the offense and things like that. But that being said, the 53-man roster is pretty much, it seems like it's finalized. I know they picked up a right tackle. They let go Thayer Mumford. They picked up a safety today. I don't know if you looked at him and what you thought. What's your thoughts of the 53?
It just overall, it's a very offensive heavy team. I mean, because you go back to trade for Micah Parsons, that's the only reason I could think about it. I mean, the offense seems pretty ready to go. I mean, you got Geno Smith. He looks really good in the preseason, really hasn't done anything wrong that kind of makes you nervous. And that's kind of what you expect from a veteran quarterback that, at his level, when you go out there and you play in the preseason, you shouldn't have problems. They're not trying to fool you. They're not trying to do anything crazy. You shouldn't have any problems like that. And he looked well. He looked like he played well out there. And then, got Ashen Genty. You got the wide receivers that are up and coming, and you kind of got the young offensive line. They feel pretty set there. I think defensively, when you just look at the roster, man, it's just very underwhelming, right? And one thing I say that the Raiders are going to play the run really well. I mean, they got Landon Roberts out there, Max Crosby, Devin White. Even Jermaine Pratt plays the run pretty well. Jamal Adams looks pretty good in preseason. It's just more about how they're going to stop the pass, and that's going to be the big issue for me. Just looking at this roster, they're so kind of just young at corner, just young and like inexperienced at corner is the biggest problem. You got a undrafted guy, Kyle Kelly, who's everybody hyped about, but he's got traded and he was like cut. He was a practice squad guy before. You got Decamerion Richardson. He's a 4th round pick, right? And it's sure, fourth round pick corners can become good, but that's not something you always want to bet on. And then you got Darian Porter, who's going to be starting, and then you got Eric Stokes, who just Stokes is just hard to explain sometimes. He just I never seen some guy who's so stiff. So it's just we're gonna see him slip one time. It's gonna frustrate us. That's my problem. It's the corners, man. And even the safeties, bro. I mean, they're putting a lot on Isaiah Palomau to be like this stud safety out there. Like if you look at the safety position, like he might be the best one, and they're putting a lot on him, in my opinion. Like, that's a lot of pressure. He should be more of a role player, in my opinion. But he's out there going to be a starter, and they're going to do a lot with that. But the defensive line looks pretty good, so they're going to have to depend on that. They're going to have to depend on the defensive line to get pressure quick. But if they're playing the zone they're going to play, if they're playing good quarterbacks, they're just going to get rid of the ball quick. So it's going to be tough, man. It's going to be tough for them to stop the pass, especially like when you watch the Niners game. Brock Purdy, he didn't even attack outside. He just attacked Devin White and he attacked Landon Roberts, and that's what Brock Purdy did. And he had a couple plays where he hit Eric Stokes on a nice pass, but all the rest of them were just in the middle of the field. He's like, you got Landon Roberts out there. I'm going to tackle Landon Roberts. We're going to get Ricky Purcell on him in some way, and you're playing zone. I'm going to attack him. So we're going to see a lot of that. But against the Chargers, I think the Raiders are pretty good. But against everybody else, it's going to be a little rough.
Man, bro, the arrogance of Pete Carroll, man. I could coach him up, and like I'm sure it sounds like you're not a huge fan of that trade of Jacorian Bennett, who it looks like he's going to be the starter on the outside for the Philadelphia Eagles, while we're like wondering like who's going to be the starter on the on opposite of Eric Stokes. It's literally going to be Russian roulette every week, like until they figure out like we got a guy that we're comfortable with. Like that doesn't make any sense, especially with all like the D tackles that stepped up over the preseason, and we went and we traded for Thomas Booker. I understand like that might have been overreactionary to Christian Wilkins and that whole situation, but
Lecky. I mean, I think like I said before, I think if Lecky Fotu is healthy, we probably still trade Jacorian Bennett. I don't know if we trade him for Thomas Booker. I'm sure they still trade him.
Yeah. He's running with the 2s and 3s, wasn't he? Like he was playing with the 3s and 2s. Like he was clearly demoted. Yeah. But to me that was always weird because he's a good cover corner, but his tackling, I bet that's what they just didn't like his size and his tackling, and then since he can't tackle that well, you can't play him inside because he can play inside. He can play slot corner, like he can guard in the slot. There's plenty of times you saw him in film last year. He was, he had to guard somebody inside. I mean, he was guarding Jamar Chase inside. You know what I mean? Mm. So he can do that. It's just when you play in the slot, you got to tackle, and it's hard to kind of trust him there a little bit. But I still thought it was a weird move. I mean, I feel like with corners, and I'm going to say this, and people might get bothered, but I think tackling is just a little bit overrated with corners. I'd rather have a cover guy, and then if he misses some tackles, sure. But if he's getting picks and he's not in a passing league, like these guys pass 500 times a game, right. And I know, you got to have somebody who can cover, right?
Exactly.
I mean. Yeah, a missed tackle there.
Corners missing tackles is what safeties are made for. Like that's why we have safeties.
Safeties.
That's literally in the name. Like it's like literally.
For real, man.
It's tough out here. But this is something that me and Severe have been going back and forth. Obviously, he was ultimately right about the whole situation, which I wasn't necessarily saying he was wrong about Zamir White and Sincere McCormick and things like I feel like Sincere McCormick is a better runner of the football than Zamir White, but I feel like Zamir White, he's the guy that comes off the bus and he just looks the part, and you know what I mean. Obviously he was drafted 4th overall, and Sincere McCormick's an undrafted free agent, but and then hey, to credit to Zamir, he did have that, was it 2023 2022 where he had a good run at the end of the season. What's your thoughts on Zamir White as a running back? Like, is he a good running back? Do you see can he be a starter? I'm not saying on this team, but can he be starting NFL, or is he just more of a guy that just you could have in your rotation in the backfield?
He's just a very scheme guy. Like you have to run a certain scheme with Zamir White, so you have to run power or gap, and if you don't, then it's not going to go well. It's going to look like last year, right, where they brought in Luke Getsy for a power guy to run outside zone with a guy who had 200-yard games running power in a power system. But they bring in Chip Kelly who runs both, right? And Chip Kelly adapts to the running back that's there. So, Ohio State, he ran a lot of gap. He had, Judkins and Henderson, right? So he runs a lot of gap with them. With Zach Charbonnet at UCLA, he ran zone, right? So he looks at Zamir White. He's like, okay, I mean, this guy's, he's talented, right? 4'4", got drafted in the 4th round. He's more talented than Sincere McCormick. So, with that talent that's there, you feel like he can get the most of it if he can just, stick to the scheme. And, that's what you saw on against the Cardinals. I mean, all they did was just pull guys, and, that's Zamir White just running downhill. And that's what you should do with him, right? But, I still think what happened to Sincere McCormick was Dylan Lobby tackles. Special teams. I think that's what happened to him. All them Dylan Lobby running around, making tackles, playing well on special teams, doing all those things. I think that's what more of what happened to Sincere McCormick was the Dylan Lobby just making plays on punt return and doing all these things. And they're like, man, we got to keep these special teams ace. You know what I mean? That type of thing. Right. And and that's what happened.
Who would have thought that? Who would have thought that going into training camp too?
We're cutting good cover corners because they can't tackle, and keeping bad running backs because they can't. This is crazy. This is crazy.
No one would have predicted that Dylan Lobby was gonna make the team. Everybody before training camp, going into training camp. Oh yeah, like Dylan Lobby just
except severe. Well, before training camp, but I was the lone person saying it was the 4. And I said, if it's going to be if the battle was between Sincere and Raheem Mostert, that was the battle.
Yeah,
because if you have Zamir White as your clear number 2, like what is Mostert really there for? But he was obviously a better player than Sincere. Just like, do you go with the younger guy that conceivably has some potential? I mean, that was a decision. I felt that. I thought they would throw him on the practice squad. They didn't want a practice squad.
Bro,
they was like, all right, we good.
It's that Pete Carroll shit, bro. Like 33 years old, 33-year-old running back. I mean, we're gonna see what he does this year, but
before, I know Marcus, you've been pretty generous with your time, but I just have a hypothetical question for you. Just a hypothetical question. So let's say you're running a team, right? And let's say there's a guy who's super athletic. He played in college. But he didn't play FBS football. He played FCS football, right? Okay. So this is hypothetical, complete hypothetical. He's an athletic guy playing FCS football, and let's just say he's a quarterback. He's a quarterback, right? Very athletic. Won all awards as a quarterback at the FCS level. But you draft him, and you want to play him at a different position. Let's say wide receiver, for example. Let's just say you draft him and you want to play him at wide receiver. How smart is it to expect this guy to come from FCS football to the NFL from a different position, like quarterback, to wide receiver, and expect him to make an impact immediately? Like, how would you expect that?
No, I would not. I would not expect that at all. I would not expect a guy who never played receiver, who probably played running back in high school, because he runs the ball like that. If you play running back in high school, you play quarterback, and you're a runner, and we want you to come and run routes and learn routes and a different level of football. You only played FCS, and you're dealing with guys who are probably going to be coaches, but you're playing to get around a bunch of coaches and guys that have good jobs afterwards. But you're not playing with NFL players every single week, and when you're doing that, and then you have to come and play a new position, that's going to take time. It's going to take a little bit of time. You got to work around it and see what he can do and figure those things out, instead of just, giving up and be like, hey, we waste a draft pick on him, thinking that he can play wide receiver. I would have put him at running back personally, but if you do that, man, you got to take some time, man. But felt like it's just a wasted draft pick. And a lot of it, when you look at the positions around, man, it's just, I don't know why you guys got all these draft picks.
I agree 1,000%. And I feel like Raider fans, for some reason, they do this with every, fill in the coach, fill in the GM. They're like apologists. They'd be like, oh, it's just a 6th-round pick. We don't need no 6th-round pick. We don't need no fifth round pick. Kenny Pickett got traded for a 5th-round pick. I mean, I wouldn't have done it. I would have just signed someone off the street. You know what I mean? Like, but I'm not a GM or anything like that. But real quick, what are your thoughts on Kenny Pickett?
Yeah, the fifth was crazy. I would say that. I'm like, a fifth for Kenny Pickett, man.
After trading the third for Geno.
Yeah, it's nuts. But I feel like that was more about Aiden O'Connell because Cam Miller. When I saw that, or when you thought that happened, you didn't think that Cam Miller was going to get cut, right? Or maybe they put Aiden O'Connell on IR. No, they cut Cam Miller. So it was really about Aiden. I think they felt like they didn't have a backup quarterback, and they reached for one. But it's just crazy to give a fifth up for Kenny Pickett. What Justin Fields was like a 20 next year 7th conditional, and we're paying 5th round for Kenny Pickett. I just feel like that's not.
Yeah, no. Cleveland won that trade. They literally got their 5th round pick because I think they initially traded a 5th and I don't know if they
DTR.
want to play. Oh, and DTR or whatever. But that's wild, man. For them to do that. But it is what it is. Going into before you get out of here, the Raiders take on Patriots. Josh McDaniels is back at OC where he belongs, where he's a better coach at, I should say. What are your thoughts on the Week 1 matchup against the Patriots? Do you think is it a winnable game? Is it going to be a tough game? What are your early thoughts on that game?
I think it's a winnable game. I think on offense, Drake May is gonna have to, learn that he's in control out there and learn about that offense. And I think it's gonna take him. It's not gonna be that quick for him to kind of go out there and execute like he needs to, especially with that offense puts so much on the quarterback that he's, the coordinator can't, it's not gonna be able to hold your hand out there, and he's gonna have to go out there and really, really play. And I think the Raiders, they have to do some confusing things, kind of confuse him and understand what Josh McDaniels like to do on certain downs. And I think they could kind of slow them down. But I think on defense, it's gonna be a little bit tougher for them to deal with because, Vrabel is a great defensive coordinator. They got some really great pieces over there that they could work with. And I think it's gonna be a big test for the interior offensive line. You got to do a Barmore out there. It's gonna be a big test for them. And then outside, we talked about, we need guys outside, but I feel like they're gonna have to probably talk, attack inside this game and use Brock Bowers a lot and try to see what they could do. But Christian Ellis, who the Raiders tried to get and didn't, he can cover pretty well. So. He could play pretty well out there, and they got some other good players out there. So, defense, I expect it to kind of be a kind of a close, low-scoring game, like 2017, 21-17 type of thing. But we'll see how the Raiders go out there, and it'll tell us a little bit about them overall, in my opinion.
Yeah, man. Hey, Marcus, man, it's been real, man. I appreciate you coming through. Let the people know where they can find you, what to look forward to, all that good stuff.
So find me on Twitter at the MarkJohnNFL. Also, on YouTube, Tape Don't Lie as well. So find me there. And then, if you like rap music, I'm starting to do rap music too a little bit more. So, you check out my IP 2.0 YouTube page. I got a lot of stuff.
Yes, sir. Yeah, so, definitely check it out, man.
Well. I gotta check you out, man. I know you. Okay, I didn't know you spitting, man. I gotta check you out.
Yeah. Go check that out, man. Definitely, I'm actually in a rap battle right now. Logo.
All right,
yeah,
be careful what you say, man. They suing nowadays. Be careful what you say.
All right, guys. I appreciate you guys, bro.
All good, man. All right, y'all. We back. We are back, man. If you just joining us, man, appreciate you pulling up to Around the Shield, man. That was a great interview we just had with Marcus from Tape Don't Lie. But we got another guest today, man. We got Raider Rundown in the building. Make sure to click and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. If y'all not aware, if my mods are in the building, definitely put the links on for Raider Rundown. Make sure to subscribe to his channel, man. We're gonna have a great conversation. Man, that was a good conversation with Marcus too, by the way. And when I was listening to it, it had me thinking because we were talking, Severe, you're hilarious talking about because I had a problem with this. When I found out that Tommy Mellott was not on the practice squad, and I just felt like it was weird that you draft a guy, like you said that you put it perfectly, FCS guy, FCS QB, you're trying to transition him into a wide receiver, and you at the very least, I understand it's gonna be a project. Don't even put him on the practice squad. It's something more to it than that. I know Spytek is not that dumb. And I was thinking about it. I was like, you know what? I think there might be a clash right now going on with, and it might. And I'm not trying to make something out of nothing, but there might be a clash between Spytek and Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll wants to win now. Spytek is looking for the future. He wants to develop the young talent. He wants the young talent to play this, that, and the third. That's why you keep a Raheem Mostert, 33-year-old running back, over Sincere McCormick, and that's why you cut and you don't even put him on the practice squad. Tommy Millott, like when you knew he was a project player to begin with. I mean, what is your take on that rundown, man? Do you think they should have at least had him on the practice squad? I mean, you draft him in the 6th round. I understand 6th rounders. People have this misconception that 6th rounders don't mean anything, but how do you build out your roster? How do you build out your depth? You got to have guys play special teams, at least stay on the roster for a few years before you move on. You know what I'm saying?
Man, come on, man. I don't think personally it made no sense. I'm right with y'all. Why draft him? We know what time it is. And it's not a couple years ago, Braxton Miller a couple years ago, he was a quarterback turned receiver, but he went to goddamn Ohio State. That's different, bro. That's different. And he made plays as a receiver, you saw it. So it was all right, cool. Like Severe said, dog, he went to FCS. He was playing quarterback, and at the end of the day, not even as it is not disrespect, but as a quarterback prospect, immediately in the draft, all I heard was, no, he's not a quarterback, but he's a good athlete though. That's what everybody started with. So at the end of the day, it's all right, you're gonna have to build this from the ground up. That just is what it is. The comment made no sense, and I'm right with you. Something I don't know about. It's a power struggle. I don't know what to really make of it, to be honest with you. Because at the end of the day, man, they telling us one thing, but like Severe always says, man, it's the wolf tickets, man. We know what time it is, dog. They're gonna dress it up as nice as they can. But all of us has been making this content, y'all. Me, everybody else been saying the same thing, dog. It's year 1 of this regime. We know we wasn't ready. We knew what time it was, bro. You feel what I'm saying? I know a lot of us are gonna. A lot of fans is gonna come to the realization probably in week 5. That's week 5 is when it's gonna hit their ass like a ton of bricks, and they gonna be like, "Oh yeah, they right. We wasn't ready." But as of right now, they still got that Raider goggle shit on right now. It's before week 1. We feel good. We fuzzy and shit. Come on, dog. You feel what I'm saying? A lot of these moves don't really make no sense. You feel what I'm saying? It's okay to say that. It don't make no sense. Now, if we make the playoffs, so be it. We don't give a fuck about what it is now, but. As of right now, bro, a lot of these, you got to be scratching your head and saying, all right, well, what are we doing? You know what I mean? What's the vision? What's the plan? Whose plan is it? That's my thing. Right now, I don't know.
Look, and the reason why I had me thinking about it, because shout out to Raiders Beat. They put out a lot of Raider content as well. And I caught this I was watching the Spytek presser, and I noticed a comment. I was like, why would you say that? Why would you say it like that? And he made a comment about Tommy Millott, and he was like, I believe in Tommy Millott. Hopefully he can go to a place where they have more patience or something. And I'm like, huh? Who?
I thought, again, hey, bro, it's been an all season. I don't even mean to cut you off, but it's been an all season full of lies. You feel what I'm saying? It's been an all season full of lies. Draft was the biggest lie. You feel what I'm saying? I can guarantee you we could probably pull up that presser that they had about Tommy Millott. And they guaranteed was we're going to try to develop him and do all that. I guarantee you they probably said that shit in that presser. And now here we go a couple months later, different. Same thing with Cam Miller. You told us he was a Tom Brady selection. All right, you told us he was a Tom Brady selection. Hey, bro, he a 6th round pick. Let's be real with ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Let's be real. How many franchise quarterbacks you get out the 6th round? Come on, dog. You know what I mean?
1, the number 2, maybe if you count Purdy.
Let's keep it a real beam, bro. We're not gonna sit here and do that. You gonna sit here and lie to us and be like, yeah, bro, he hand selected him. No, it's just you didn't have the QB as a big priority. Okay, cool. That's what we understood. That is what it is. But they better be right on the other development they doing with these other dudes. I guess if that's the case, if it's so cutthroat, you feel what I'm saying, then the competition and development got to be going crazy at this point.
Yeah. Shout out to Raider Ray in the building, my guy. He says, if you had to guess who has final say based off the moves you see? I think it seems like
Pete.
the roster. It seems like Pete.
It's Pete.
Like
Pete.
who makes the roster? Who makes the final 53?
Yeah.
Which it should not be. It should be Spytek.
Draft wise and like signing, Spytek might be the final say on that one because I mean if it was up to Pete, then Mel would never been drafted.
Oh,
Probably.
Probably. But I think
these recent moves for sure, Pete. I ain't gonna lie. These recent ones.
Genty for sure was a Pete Carroll pick.
Oh yeah.
Genty for sure was Pete Carroll.
Hey, you know what I tell you, Severe? If the Browns didn't make that pick before us, I know who we was gonna pick. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
It's not like saying I'm mad about Ashen Genty, but I have a feeling that he would have picked Mason Graham.
Mason
Yeah,
Graham.
he would
I
have.
wouldn't have minded that. But Pete,
Hell
Pete,
nah.
he took.
Looking
that's
at
not
it
the
now,
first time.
hell no.
It's not the first time he took a first round running back out of the Mountain West. He did it with Penny.
He
hey,
did.
Shout out. That's why I'm gonna leave it there. Shout out to Rashad Penny. I'm just leaving it right there.
Yeah. Hey, looking
but,
at our DT roster right now, dog. You goddamn right I'd have took that Mason Graham the way it look right now. But hey, I still think Ashley gonna be cool this year. I mean, I know we're gonna get into it probably, but we'll see.
Yeah. J Dog says Parsons not worth 2 first round as a player. Honestly, he is. I mean, I would have done that in a heartbeat. But in the Raiders standpoint, like if the Raiders are making a trade, it would have been a bad trade. Yeah. Just because it would have been a good trade because it
not
like
there.
we got too many holes, bro. Like it would have been a situation like, oh, Max Crosby gets sacks. Oh, Micah Parsons. Oh, the Raiders got a great D-line. Who's covering? Oh, we got to draft him. Oh, we don't have a first round pick. Oh, we don't. You know what I mean? We would have been. The goalpost would have moved. It would have went to like something else on the team that would have been a major issue. But now we don't have the resources to address them because we traded 2 first round picks. Now the Packers though, on the other hand, that was a great trade.
They way close, bro. They close. They close.
Yeah. That's a great trade for them. Great. But for the Cowboys,
trash. Trash.
Well, I mean,
if you think about it though, like I was thinking about this. Somebody said this. Where were they even going with Micah Parsons to begin with, though? Like, let's just keep it a bean. Like, they not finna go to the Super Bowl. We all knew that. Like, they're not that good. The whole team with the Cowboys not that good. So then you mean to tell me you paying Dak Prescott and Micah all that money to just be mid? You feel what I'm saying? Like, So then, if you really think about it, they kind of taking that little reset that they need to do. They kind of got to do it with Dak too. They in that position we was with Derek Carr a couple years ago. You feel what I'm saying? Where they just they in purgatory.
They just paid Dak too,
bro. Exactly.
But the thing is though, like they know their offense is going to be the identity.
It's nice.
It's going to be Dak. It's going to be CD. Yeah, they got George. They got George Pickens, right? So like that's going to be their identity on that side of the ball. So that's where like, hey, look,
sell them tickets.
Exactly. This is what we focusing on. This is what we focusing on right now. Put up a whole bunch of points, be entertaining. Yeah, be the Cowboys, be exciting. And we they got a pretty solid. They got secondary. They got Bland. They got Diggs. They got some solid corners out there. So they figure out exactly. They figure if we can get any kind of pass rush at all, we got some guys that can cover. We'll be solid, and we know both those guys take the ball away. Both those guys take the ball away at a high rate. So you get them healthy. That's their philosophy. Is I know we're gonna probably touch on it. You see, Pete Carroll defenses be giving up hella damn yards. They just tighten up, in the red zone. So they probably
we'll see if we can even tighten up there, dog. Because we are historically one of the worst red zone teams ever, dog. Like I watch every other 31 team. And they're not as bad as we are in these red zone situations. I just never understand what goes on.
Are you? Is that a shot at PG? Are you taking a shot at PG?
Hey, I'm gonna be real, bro. I'm gonna be real. I like PG, but there are certain things he does with the corners that pisses me off. Why do we consistently play our corners 15? It don't matter who it is. They're always 15 yards back. It don't matter what corner the name is, the jersey switch. They 15 yards back. He did it with the Giants and shit too. He was doing it over there, bro. Like, I like I like his aggressive nature at times, but it don't come out enough for me, bro. Like he's doing too much of that bend and don't break too, and mixed with Pete Carroll, that should scare me, bro. So we about to allow like 300 yards in the first half. You feel me saying? But it'll be cool as long as we can hold them to field goals. But what if that shit don't work that day? You know what I'm saying? Now guess what? Now we got to win 38-35 because the defense ain't stopped nobody.
It's gonna be that. It's for sure about to be that.
Oh yeah. I can smell it already.
Unless we generating turnovers, it's for sure gonna be.
That's the only way. I think that's the only way we can combat that. Because our pass defense. I saw y'all with Marcus, bro. He right. Our pass defense is gonna be ass. I mean, this is
let's this. I guess is a good segue, like Severe said. Shout out to Mo Moten. He had a great post where he talked about Pete Carroll's recent pass defense have been bend but don't break, and he put the numbers over here. Let me go ahead and just put this on here real quick for us to just look at here. So you look at the numbers here: 27th allowed in 2019. Pete Carroll coached defense, so 27th allowed yards, but 5th allowed touchdowns. 31st allowed yards, 9th allowed touchdowns. So bend but don't break. You know what I mean? So that when they get to that red zone, they're not giving up a lot of touchdowns, which, you know what I mean? We're hoping. I'll take that for year one with Pete Carroll. I'll take that based off the talent that we have, based off the secondary that we have, based off the talent and depth that we have on defense. I'll take a bend but don't break. And then if you add some turnovers, that could possibly that could be playoffs with a good offense. That could be playoffs with a good offense.
Being realistic, I just want us to be somewhere between 2023 and 2019. To just be in between somewhere around that, bro. Just being realistic, we'll be straight. You cannot, if we're 31st, it's gonna be rough. Yeah. It's gonna be rough.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. I mean, if you had to make a guess based off the years here, most likely, what are you projecting out of these? If it was one of these years for this defense.
See, this is the thing. I see more like 27th for real, damn near, but I don't see 5th in TDs allowed. Like I see more of that 10th. You feel what I'm saying? In TDs allowed. So that's kind of where I'm at. So it's kind of hard to pick between the two, but I'll just go for the optimistic people in here. I'll go 2023. That's still, it's not. You can win some games with 21st. You can win some games if your offense is moving the ball and we not turning the ball over and stuff like that.
Yeah. And then, Pete Carroll made a mention, because you were talking about corners and the way PG likes to pay corners. But Pete Carroll today was saying that Eric Stokes is going to start on the outside, but on the other side, it's going to be a rotation of players. So, I mean, and it's like, damn, like, how is it going to be a rotation of players and you traded away a Jacorian Bennett that played like one of the best young corners in the NFL? Like, when you make that trade, I'm thinking like, oh, okay, you already know who the starting two corners are. Yeah. You good, you set, you know what I mean? You're going to go with the growing pains, you're good. But when you go week one and you got one starter on the outside and on the other side, you're going back and forth with the Cameron Richardson and Darian Porter and Kelly.
Oh Lord, man.
And then who knows who's going to be playing at nickel? Is most likely
Lord
Darnell
knows,
Holmes.
man. We got open tryouts and shit this week. I heard there's open tryouts at the stadium to see who could play nickel. But real talk, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. That is ugly. It's gonna be a rotation, all right. You go your favorite barbecue joint, and the chicken rotating around there. That's what it's gonna be. Whole bunch of barbecue chicken rotating in here. Because at the end of the day, bro, you telling me that we're comfortable rotating DeCamerion Richardson just fresh, cool off the bench, and he just gonna be like, one drive Darian Porter in there. Now we got confidence DeCamerion Richardson gonna go in there and do that. You know what I mean? Like, bro, I saw him against the Cardinals, 4th string, missing tackles and not doing his assignments. You feel what I'm saying? So we gonna just be comfortable rotating him in with all these plethora of receivers that we playing this year. Like, I think we tweaking. We just talk shit about the Cowboys, right? And we said they gonna be mid. But if I be real with you, that game scared the shit out of me, dog. because
Oh
they
yeah.
are gonna go up
Oh my
and
God.
down the field on our ass, dog.
CD
Up and down the field. Oh my God.
You gotta think about like the one guy we have that's like a lock at corner is Eric Stokes.
He's shaking his
And that
damn
dude-
tail.
Over the past 3 years, he's given up over 100-yard passer rating, and he's also missed 22 games over the past 3 years too. So
Yep.
it's like-
Mhm.
he might even be there. We might have a
Mhm.
starting corner tandem of Caillou Blue Kelly and DeCamerion Richardson coming
That
to
is
Cowboys
true.
game.
That is,
Well,
oh my God. Oh my God. Dak gonna have like 500 yards, bro. You know, remember Derek had that 500-yard game against Tampa and shit. We gonna experience that on the other side. Damn near on that. But see, mixing with that, that's what I'm saying, bro. Like all the pressure on this defense is on the D line and being able to scheme up some blitzes. That's the only way it's gonna work. Because if we just, again, if we're the 31st ranked defense, I don't know if we have enough hogs to say like we're gonna be 9th in TDs allowed. You know what I mean? Like I don't know about that. That's the whole thing.
Yeah, I don't really know what to expect, but this is based off Pete Carroll's last 5 years coaching the defense with Seattle, and then we also know what PG Patrick Graham's all about. He's all about bend but don't break, but it's like okay, we have that to look back on, but then it's like the talent. It's like man, it's like usually when I feel like this, it means I don't want to like come out and say it, but it's just I already did come out and say it. Remember we had our overreaction takes after that first preseason game. I was like, you know what, this defense is gonna be ass this year, man.
Oh hey, just keep it being, bro. Keep it.
That's what I said. That's what I said. Now that being said, if that D line can get some pressure, if one of these corners develop, if that Darian Porter can develop, which Pete Carroll has a history of developing young corners. If he can do that, then we'll see. But turnovers is going to be huge, though. If we can force turnovers, whoo, you know what I mean?
Words
And
out my
Ray,
mouth. I mean,
and Ray basically said it right here. He says we need Max to take the next step with turnovers. Facts.
that's what it is, bro. I mean, I talked about this yesterday. Well, you just brought up a great point, though. I'm kind of mad that he even said that about the rotation of corners because me personally, I'm just saying, just play Darian Porter, bro. Just play him. Because we gonna find out early on if it's something for us to work with. You feel what I'm saying? If it's something for us to do. He's only played 2 years at the position. But if we were to see some things this year, we could say like, all right, cool. Like we could build on that. But it's sink or swim for me with him. That's where I'm at with that. But I talked about Max yesterday, dog. That is the reason that people consistently put the TJ Watts, you know what I mean, the Nick Bosa's ahead of him when you talk about these lists because they get turnovers. That's the whole thing. He's got to add that to his repertoire.
Yeah, no, facts. And think, we've it's been at the expense of Aiden O'Connell mostly, but we've seen them kind of generate some turnovers in some of these practices. So, we'll see if he'll be able to do that in real games. But if you look at Pete Carroll, you look at this list, right? Like this one outlier, and that's the 2022 season where, everything else is about the same. That one season, they jumped to 13th in yards allowed. But you know what happened that year? That's the year they got Reek. They got Reek and they got Kobe Bryant. So they had the Jim Thorpe Award winner, who was the guy who was polished, who was the guy across from Sauce. So not like, so he was seeing hella targets at Cincinnati himself. And then obviously Reek, they got Reek as a rookie who was kind of a revelation out of nowhere. But, it's not exactly the same as Darian just because like Reek he was more polished and more ready to play than Darian is right now.
100%.
So
100%.
Even though they were both later round picks, he had more to his game than Darian. So I don't see that exact same scenario happening, especially since we don't. We're real shaky, and we have questions about our pass rush, right? And we still have questions about our pass rush. Are our guys outside of Max going to be able to generate a pass rush? I know we're hoping that Kuntz is able to return to form. He's kind of rounding himself into form as preseason went on. Obviously, he had that sack in that last game, so we kind of hope he can turn back into that guy we saw down the stretch of the 2023 season. But that's not a guarantee. And if we don't have him, we for damn sure can't depend on Tyree to generate any pass rush. So at that point, we're gonna have to start simulating pressure, right? Through blitzes. And then when you do that, you have less guys in coverage. That leaves you more exposed, especially the linebackers we already have. They're not the greatest at coverage already. So that just opens up more holes. So, we really need our D-line to do yeoman's work.
Man, what? They got to do the Lord's work. That's what it is. They got to do the Lord's work because as of right now, bro, they the only thing.
And I'm mad that they didn't go after, Julius Brents. I really wanted them to go after Julius Brents. Severe, I always say this, man. The Raiders they're in a position where they need to add talent. Exactly. We need to add talent. You look at the best GM in the league. He's constantly adding talent, even though if you look at the Eagles roster, is probably hands down the best roster in the NFL from a talent perspective, but he's constantly tinkering. He's constantly trying to add talent. And I feel like, the Raiders with their issue at corner is they need to figure out who's going to be they don't know who's going to be starting on the outside. They got some young guys, but they don't even know who's going to be starter opposite Eric Stokes. And we don't know long-term who's going to be that nickel guy. And I felt like a Julius Brents got coming out of that 2023 draft, drafted in the second round. Severe, I know you're high on him. He got claimed by the Dolphins. The Raiders could have easily got him if he was there. If they just put in a claim, they would have got him. So I thought that was a little bit frustrating that they didn't put a claim in for him. And then, rundown. Did you look into the safety they just picked up from the Eagles?
Kinda, not really. But knowing how we are as a fan base, we gonna say we got the next goddamn Brian Dawkins, because he's from the Eagles. But nah, bro, he's okay. You know what I'm saying? He's depth. That's what it is. And
Exactly.
Nobody they're signing right now, and I looked a little bit of him. He's depth, bro. Nobody they're signing right now is a starter. If that's the case, then you should already, you in your mind, if you don't think that that's something going on, then hey, I don't know what to tell you, bro. If they got to sign somebody to start a week before the season, that should have alarms going off in your mind already that something ain't smelling right. But
look,
yeah, he's depth.
No one should have alarms going off in your mind, And look, people will readily tell you guys aren't coaches, you guys aren't GMs. What are you talking about? I do know this. The Raiders had the second most cap space in the league. They ended the 2025 draft with 11 selections. And we have damn near as many holes on this team as we started the year with. So, obviously, the people that are the professionals, they don't know what the hell they're doing either. Because we're basically, we're damn near back at square one. We got a quarterback now, and we have a guy that we think can be a franchise running back. But other than that, we still have holes throughout this entire roster. So it's just frustrating. It's just frustrating because we were sold a bill of goods. We were told that and we shouldn't have believed it, but we did. We were told that this team is going to come in and they're going to compete immediately. We were going to compete immediately, and know how I know that they are full of shit, because Pete Carroll, the compete guy, traded a 5th round pick for Kenny Pickett, who, when he was in Pittsburgh, demanded a trade because he didn't want to compete. So this is the guy you spend a 5th round pick on. Bro, mix me with that nonsense. I don't want to hear you talk about competition no more. Don't say a damn thing about competition, because you just traded a valuable asset for a guy that demanded a trade because he didn't want to compete.
Who's never going to play? For real. Who's never going to play?
I hope he never plays, but
I don't want to see him ever.
Well, let's the defense is obviously depressing, but let's focus on, let's look at the positives here, man. In Raider Race, it basically feels like we just flipped the talent on this team. Defense carried us last year. Last couple seasons, you could probably argue offense is going to carry us this season. Yeah, and I think the offense is what's going to have us looking forward to every Sunday to see the progression of how good a player Ashen Genty is. I know, Rundown, you were getting ready to talk about Ashen Genty and how you feel about him as a player. What have you seen so far from him to make you think that he's going to have a big season?
Well, the season, how big the season is, really depends on what the line does. To be honest with you, and I think that he's going to at least give us right 1,100 yards. That's what I would expect from him, right? Something like that. And then go ahead and then give us another 4-5 in the receiving game. So I'm cool. That's 1,700 yards all purpose. Now I want my Saquon 2,000, but seeing as though what the deal is with this team, I think that might be a little steep. My only thing is this. I talked about this yesterday, bro. And again, people always like, there be certain people that dismiss it and always is, oh, this shit don't matter when you bring it up about little intricacies of the game or whatever until it actually matters. My thing, I love him running over these DBs. I love him running over these safeties, but that he can't keep doing this for no 16 games, bro. I'm telling you that right now. I mean, everybody, it looked good. You feel what I'm saying? But this is 16 games he's never played against grown-ass men. At the end of the day, bro, why would you not even prolong, but why would you shorten his shelf life like that? That's what I'm saying. Like, for example, Zeke Elliott just retired the other day. What was his career, like 7 years? Look how they ran him into the ground. You feel what I'm saying? That's how we're fixing to do Genty. That's how we fixing to do it. And the career will not be that long if you taking all this wear and tear on your body. You know what I mean? Like, I would love to see him play a good, nice little 10 years. You know what I mean? That'd be nice. You get your chunk of change like that. But we ain't gonna be able to do that if every other thing I'm running over another DB.
Right.
I just took a linebacker hit right there. And and we supposed to be doing that for 25 plus carries, 16 games. Yeah. That's like, nah, bro. No, you cannot do that. So I just think he's got to probably change that up a little bit as it goes.
Yeah. No, I agree. And that was the first thing I kind of seen that second preseason game where he just, instead of trying to make the linebacker miss, he's like, I'm just going to go 100 miles per hour, just go run straight into you. And it was like a stalemate. And I'm like, man, if he keeps doing, he can't do that. NFL linebackers ain't no joke. Like, these are,
no.
You know, like you keep doing that. You can't do, that's not going to, that's not going to hold up for an entire season. So I agree with that 100%. Now with the DBs, I feel like DBs can't, I don't think DBs can.
Oh, no, yeah, he can do that. That's his superpower right there.
He can't do that. Yeah, but
even then, you don't want him. Even then, you don't want him doing it.
Yeah.
Oh, no, yeah. There's certain safeties you don't want to fuck with, like Derwin James. I'm not fucking around like that.
Oh, yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? Like we can't be taking Derwin James hits like that head on, bro. Like he'll kill you damn near. You know what I mean? So I'm not with that. And this the next thing. Think about this. Imagine this man misses a game this year. Imagine he got to miss 2 games this year. Dog, what does our offense look like? You feel what I'm saying? Like that's my whole thing. He can't miss no game.
Zamir White show.
Zamir White and Raheem Mostert, man.
Everybody's so confident in Zamir. Why? Because he is second back right now, bro. That's his role. That's what he is. But as soon as he a starter, I guarantee you we all sweating bullets, bro. That's my whole thing. I don't want to see no blue tint from Genty.
Facts. And we've seen him some movie before. We've seen it with Cadillac. We've seen it with Larry Johnson. You know, we've seen it with we've seen it with my guy out of that was with the Cowboys. As a matter of fact, went to the Eagles. I always forget his name. Out of Oklahoma, I forget his name. But
DeMarco Murray.
DeMarco Murray. We see it with DeMarco Murray, and then look, we saw it. Look, put it in perspective. And Pharaoh reminded me earlier. Raheem Mostert is 33 years old, right?
Yeah.
Todd Gurley is only 31.
Ooh.
How many years Todd Gurley been out the league?
Man, because bro, the amount of money.
Punishment. Taking that kind of punishment, man. So like I said, and my biggest concern about Genty, it was can he break tackles to the level that he was doing at Boise in the NFL? I still don't think he's going to do that. But it's not about him being a physical player. It's can you run away from NFL defenders? And the one chance you got to do it, you chose to go head up with a linebacker, and it was essentially a stalemate, and you got tackled for a 2-yard gain. So it's
bro, you know what I mean?
Small sample size. Small sample size.
But that's your chance. It was not a small sample size because there are other situations where there was a run, where there was a hole,
I agree
and he
with
can
that,
hit
though.
the hole
not that
fast
shit,
enough.
Bro.
There's a lane in a week one preseason game. There's a wide open lane. He couldn't hit the hole fast enough. It's been other examples, But that was the one scenario where it's like, okay, clear cut. You get the pass, you got to make one guy miss. That's all.
Yeah.
And that's when. And look, when you playing pee-wee football, they tell you like, look, your line and your receiver is gonna take care of everything else. It's your job as the ball carrier to make at least one guy miss. And he didn't make that one guy miss. So I don't want to hear, I went out there to prove, because you went out there to prove a point, and what happened? The only point you proved is you got a stinger. You got sent to the blue tent. That's what you proved, that you can't take kicks from linebacker.
And this is the thing, when you like call it how you see it, it's referred to as hating, but this is like literally how I see it. When people say Barry Sanders, you're not understanding what you're saying. You get what I'm saying? Like, bro, Barry Sanders can go east to west in 0.2 seconds. You feel what I'm saying? Like, and be able to do that and lose no speed. Genty is not that type of running back. He's more of, like, to be honest with y'all, bro, he's more of the Josh Jacobs mold. That's what he is. I don't see him. I see him as more that, like,
you mean like how good he is at how like his ceiling is Josh Jacobs? Is what you're saying?
The type of running back. Like, this is the thing. Everybody will expect Genty to shake somebody and run for 80 yards and do all that, like how Saquon does. That's not, I don't think, his game, bro. I think he's more of how, remember Josh was here, bro. We maybe get to 10. Now it's 5 here, 8 here. Cool. He lead us all the way down the field. You feel what I'm saying? But
it's not big chunk plays. It's gonna be like
it's
gonna be effective running, but it's not home run running. Look, I'm not mad at that. If we draft him in the second round, you feel me? If I draft you in the first round, bro, you better be able to take that motherfucking 90. I want 90. I don't want no nickel and diamond up the,
What David is saying 100%, bro. Hey, 100% what David's saying, bro. Everybody said Barry Sanders, he's more Emmitt Smith. Well, he's more Emmitt Smith.
No. To be fair,
and that's good. And I think Pharaoh had a good one too. It's like a Frank Gore situation where he's going to be very effective, effective. I don't think his efficacy has anything to do with it. It's just that when I see a guy top 10 at running back, I want special. You can do everything. Like I seen Saquon do it. I seen him make a run where he just shook 5-4 people, stiff armed somebody else, ran across field, ran away. Like it was done. I was like, okay, well, damn. Like that looks different.
Right. Well, you know what? To be fair, like when people do these comparisons, and we just did it right now, they compare one attribute, or they're comparing, like when you compared like Josh Jacobs to Genty just right now, you weren't comparing them stylistically. You were comparing them like the effectiveness of his game, what type of game, like what type of like yardage he'll be able to get. You know what I mean? You're basically saying that he's not going to be that home run guy. He's going to be a guy that's going to give you 5 yards here, 6 yards, 10 yards, 15, maybe a 30 yard, maybe 40 yard.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? That's what you're saying. Now with the Barry Sanders, I never understood it, but then when I heard Marcus Allen compare him to Barry Sanders, he didn't compare him to Barry Sanders like stylistically like him. Obviously that's like you got to be blind not to like it's clearly not the same. But he said like he was talking about his balance. He brought up his balance, contact balance. Like he was talking about that aspect of him. But he wasn't talking about like, Barry, like,
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm talking about. Like
but sir, you know how certain people get, bro. Now with that, I get that. I get what he's saying with that, because Genty's contact balance, I have seen even some examples in the preseason where I'm like, okay, it done transferred over a little bit. But I agree with that 100%. But then some people are just going to sit there and just say Barry, just to say Barry. And you like, dog, you like you said, you got to be blind to not see the difference. Like it takes one play damn near to understand the difference. So, and it's not even that, what I mean? I do think he's going to go ahead and perform at a good pace, but just my thing is, how much are we going to use him? And like, what's the wear and tear? That's my whole thing. Cause hey, Pete just drafted Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker's neck nerves are damn near shot by how much he done used him over there in Seattle, dog. How many years has Kenneth Walker been in the league?
Like 3? It's 3, I think.
And he damn near contemplating retirement. He was over there, worked over there, dog. He was getting worked over there. So you don't think he gonna do that shit to his newly acquired 6th overall pick? 100%. So I just think Chip got to sit in there. I hope Chip is in there like, nah, hey, we're gonna mix him in. You feel what I'm saying? Mix him in.
Well, I think they got a plan for him because when you hear like the running back coach talk about Genty, he was talking about him like he brought up the like we want to make sure we prolong his career. We want to make sure we're gonna stay. So that's coming from the running back coach.
That's what I love to hear.
So, and I'm sure he's collaborating with the offensive coordinator, offensive line coach. Like they're all like in there in the same room talking. So they're well aware of that. And Chip Kelly, you know, Severe, you can speak to this. You know, he coached 2 running backs last year at Ohio State. So he's all about managing and you know, having like a committee type of situation. Not to say that will be 100% Genty, but he'll know how to like do that. Let's say Zamir White, who looked good that last preseason game, even though it's preseason. But what I'm saying is that he probably maybe could get the best out of Zamir because he knows what he's good at. And we spoke to Marcus right now, and he was talking about, and you know, Rundown, you could talk about this too as well. You know, Zamir is probably better in a more of a power blocking scheme than maybe a zone. And like you could make, and it could complement a Genty in that room. So just finding ways to do that is huge. And shout out to Ray Ray. He says, we will see come the fourth quarter. Look, Oregon has the NFL speed on that defense, and he outran everyone for 70. If they give him space and isn't fighting for his life, I think he can run.
I saw that game. He broke a bunch of tackles, which he did, break a bunch of tackles. And then when he had the angle on guys, he ran away from them. But I also saw week 3 him get hawked down by people in versus Portland State. So the math ain't mathing. I've seen it both ways. I've seen him get caught from behind several times. I sent clips to Pharaoh because Pharaoh's like, man, I never seen it. I sent Pharaoh clips. Like, look, bro, you want to see it? I sent him clips. He's like, well, damn. And then he looked at it. He's like, yeah, man, he really not running away from nobody. Like, I've watched every single carry he's had the past 2 years. I saw him in the committee with George Halani, who was actually a guy who can run away from defenders. So I've seen every Ashen Genty carry. He's not that guy. He's not that, you know, speed burst guy. He's a guy with great vision, great contact balance. He knows how to shift his body to absorb a hit, keep his feet, and keep going. And a lot of his big runs was him. Hey, I'm breaking tackles. You know, I'm finding these little spaces. Guys hit me, I bounce off of them, and then when other guys come up to help, I'm beating them. I'm beating them while they're coming this direction. They can't recover their speed going the opposite way faster than I'm already running straight. And then that's how he gets those big runs. But I've never seen him. And if you got the tape, anybody in this chat at the Severe Raider, send me the game where he beat a guy around the corner, where a guy had the angle on him, he beat that guy to the sideline, and he went up and he scored a touchdown. Send it to me, because I didn't see it. And don't send me no high school nonsense. Send me something in college.
Yeah, I mean that's the fact. And then you saying that, this is the thing, because people will twist that for you saying that to saying you don't like him as a player, you think he sucks or whatever. No, it's being truthful about his game. That's what it is, bro. We gotta be truthful. Like this,
like people will say that, and I say, look, I need at least 1,600 yards from Genty, and it's that's not fair. Like what? Like which one is it? Is he this great player that's going to be effective in the NFL? When I say, well, I need at least 1,600 yards from him year one, and they say, oh, well, that's not fair. Like, well, damn. Like, well, you don't think he's good? Bro. I'm saying,
I don't understand it, bro. I never understand it. When we talk about expectations, people get mad.
Yeah, Ray responded. He says Genty has a 4-quarter style, patience, vision, and closes out the game. His style is built over the course of a game. So maybe a lot of those big plays, he's probably saying a lot of those big plays maybe will come at like the end of the game. Where
those are the 20 and 30 yarders we talking about. That's 40 the 20 and 30 yarders. Yeah, you know.
Well, you know, maybe we'll see.
Sound like Josh.
Okay. This is my thing.
Like Josh.
Let's be real, bro. How many running backs in the league right now are we seeing that's like breaking hella? You know what I mean? That's doing these long yard touchdown runs. There's only like a handful, bro. Yeah. And a handful of these running backs that are doing that. Genty is not like, bro. A handful of the running backs that do take this shit to the crib in the league, Genty is not like. The only dude that's an outlier is Derrick Henry, and that is because he's a freak. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Other than that,
laboratory.
You know what I mean?
I still think Genty can be very effective. I still think he can be very effective. It's not to take anything away from his efficacy. I just don't see him as this home run generational. I'm dusting everybody. I'm smoking boots on a weekly basis. I don't see that happening. I see him being like Ray said. I'm seeing him being a patient runner. He gonna nickel and dime you, and you look up. Oh, Genty went for 110, 4.2 yards per carry. He had 3 catches. Hey, good. I'm good with that. But that's not generational. That's a good player.
It's
A
good,
very
yeah,
good
it's a good
player.
player.
We just talking about Najee Harris has never had a year in the NFL where he didn't have 1,000 yards. Just because he's just
and Najee
like,
is mid.
He's just very efficient. Very efficient.
But he just over 1,000 though. He be getting them like just over 1,000 yards.
And you know what that
Yeah,
means, bro? That
just-
means he's getting like 70 yards a game.
Exactly.
Like,
That's
cool
exactly
with
what
that.
it is. Exactly what it is. 70
I'm
yards
not
a
cool
game.
with no 70 yards per game, dog. 80 yards a game gets you 1,200 nowadays. So it's like, what are we
And I want that
expecting
from
here?
Genty. That's the bare minimum from Genty, bro. I need 1,200 rushing yards, or
rushing,
1,600
yeah.
all-purpose yards. However you get it, 1,600. If you get 1,500 passing yards and 100 rushing yards, there be some concerns. Well, with them, he put up 1,600
Yeah.
yards. Or
Yeah,
I can't. Ain't too much I can say. But I need my 1,600. That's what I
with that.
need. At least that's the bare minimum. If you at 1,599, I'm on your neck. I am.
See,
on
you
your neck.
lenient compared to me, Severe. I want my Saquon. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Saquon had 2,000 all-purpose. You feel
As
what
a
I'm
rookie.
saying?
Yeah.
On a Giants team that I would venture to say was worse than this team. Probably. You feel? They had Daniel Jones and all the extras, bro. So they're probably a
number-
little worse.
That the number was
No.
number two, number two, number three.
Yeah, they probably a little worse.
Yeah.
So
No,
my
it was a
thing
bad
is,
team.
if he can have 2,000 yards on that shitty team, and because I said it all the time, that Saquon generational. I don't care what nobody says.
Yeah,
Saquon
for
is
sure, for
generational.
sure.
If he can have 2,000 on that, why can't Genty have 2,000 on this? Why not?
And look, his passing game, I think that's what's gonna open it up for everything, for a lot. I think, and
Yeah.
I think Marcus kind of alluded to it as well, where we're gonna probably be passing the ball a lot. I think we're gonna try to get him in some
There you
favorable
go.
matchups, maybe split him out wide, do some stuff like that, and he'll be able to do his thing. He'll be able to do his thing in the passing game. So I think that's a part of his game you didn't really see at Boise a lot. What was his ability as a receiver, and they've been exploiting it in practice. We've been hearing the reports. We've seen
Oh,
seen the
he's
tape.
nice. He's nice.
So I think that's where the people underrated him. And that part of his game, I think in other aspects of terms of him being a home run hitter, they kind of overrated him. Hopefully the two balance out. Like I said, he was still my RB1. Travion didn't have his injury history. Travion probably been my RB1, but Travion was my
That's
favorite.
what scared me, bro. That's what scared me. with
Yeah,
him.
that's what scared me. It scared me a little bit too. But I still had Genty as the top guy. Just that it still comes with just because you're the top guy don't mean there's no concerns there.
Well, it's like, bro, all the running backs I think even y'all talked about in the draft. All the running backs we kind of talked about are damn near starting right now or getting like big minutes. You know what I mean? Like you look at the
Or
Steelers and
getting snaps.
Caleb Johnson, he's getting big snaps over there. You look at the Broncos, RJ Harvey. We liked RJ Harvey. The motherfucker starting over there right now.
Mhm.
And you know who Turf love. We got to see him week 2. Omari Hampton.
Mhm.
He definitely getting this running back class was like that. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know why a lot of people didn't
He
believe
liked that other running back too. He liked that running back from Texas that went to the Cowboys, I think.
Oh,
Jadon
Blue. Yeah,
Yeah,
Blue.
Jadon Blue. I think
He's
Jadon
playing
Blue.
too. He's gonna play too.
Yeah, he played with the
Yeah.
Cowboys. I think the Cowboys.
yeah,
beat
bro,
them.
like
Bashaw Tootin went to Jacksonville. I know some people liked him. He be
Mhm.
that's another thing. Genty be fumbling, man. That's Bashaw Tootin's problem too. Genty got to hold him to that rock. I know he scored that
For
touchdown.
now.
He
Yeah,
scored that
I
touchdown,
will say
but he fumbled the rock. But out there being careless. I know his effort play. We seen Derek Carr do that thing, same thing twice. So
Hey.
you gotta hold on to that thing, man. That's the quickest.
I
way
will
to
say
get
this
to
though,
the
Severe.
dark.
You won the battle, bro. We had our Ohio State battle because my dude was on that P Diddy shit.
Oh, man.
Apparently, yeah. You done won the battle of the Ohio State running backs.
Is he going back to the draft? Like he didn't get
I
signed.
don't know
did he?
what's going on. No, he's not signed at all, bro. I don't know what's going on with him.
Dang, he was a second round pick, bro. Cleveland.
So Judkins, the whatever criminal case has been dropped. Like they're not. It's right now the NFL's investigating
Okay.
and so the Browns are in a situation where like they didn't sign a deal, so they're hella like, but it's kind of weird. It's like at the end of the day, you use the second round draft pick on him, so why don't you just go ahead and sign him?
Sign
So
him.
you're not.
Yeah.
So why are you going to allow him to go back to the college and go back into the draft, and then you lost out on a second round pick? Like
dumb.
sense.
It's stupid, bro. That's just dumb. I would.
It makes
Hey,
sense.
I know we probably not gonna pick him up, but if we were to pick him up, oh shit, I'm releasing Zamir in a heartbeat.
Yeah,
I'm releasing Zamir in a heartbeat.
man, in a heartbeat. Ain't wait.
That's RB1 and RB2 immediately for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
I don't care if nobody tells me, bro.
And that's that's 4 quarters. You got those dudes toting the rock for 4 quarters.
Okay,
Oh,
now
yeah.
that's a vision, right? Now we got the vision. You feel what I'm saying? That's what it
come
looks
that
like.
4th quarter. But yeah, like I said, man, Genty is going to be he gonna be solid. He gonna be solid.
Yeah.
Like I said, is he gonna be generational?
So Ray, he says the generational comments for almost any prospect is draft type. We all know that. I don't view him as generational, quote unquote, nor should we focus on straight line speed with him. It's not his game. But then he goes on to say, can he do it? That's a fair question, and I'm with you. My biggest concern is the offensive line and fumbling. His game, I'm not worried about.
If you say your biggest concern is the offensive line, then why draft a running back in the 1st round? Actually, that's like if you're concerned about his ability to produce behind this particular offensive line, then maybe you shouldn't have drafted him in the 1st round. There's plenty of running backs in his draft class that were pretty good prospects. So if you have concerns where you don't think you can maximize what he can do with your current offensive line setup, then don't draft him. Do something else, especially since Pete Carroll, he ain't got no time to wait. You don't got time to wait for a 6th round pick on a practice squad. He needs his money now. So, don't do that.
Hey,
We've already established the running back determines the ceiling of your running game.
Yes.
The line determines the floor. So if you think the floor got holes in it, or you need to retile that motherfucker, or whatever you need to do, then maybe you should not waste that valuable of a commodity on a running back in the deepest running back class that we've seen in several decades. And a generational thing, that is not true, because I've seen some generational guys. Kelvin Johnson, generational. You can look at Kelvin Johnson, his game, his measurables, time, speed, workout, all that. Generational. Same thing with Adrian Peterson. Same thing with Saquon. Like, these guys are generational. You can see it day one. People say generational prospects don't duck workouts. If you generate a generational athlete, you don't avoid workouts.
Real quick, Rock he says we have to define generational to meet those standards. So what is generational from, I guess, to make it simple so everybody could follow along, is like from a production standpoint. What's
Production?
Production.
Or
production.
the look. It's the look of it, bro. It's like what is
I know it's the look, but like just so people could like could paint a picture in their head, like
what Saquon did.
So what is generational? What's the minimum? What's the minimum of generational?
As
Rookie
far as
season,
yardage
first year-
in him, he's
So-
got
so-
to, bro. He's got to get 2,000, bro. I'm sorry. He's got to get 2,000.
Is Bowers generational to you? Brock
Oh, yeah.
Bowers. Okay.
Brock Bowers beat records that ain't been beat in 60 years. And
Okay.
he's the current record holder for the most receptions in one season for the Raiders. So like,
So he passes the eye test, plus he did it from a production standpoint.
Yes.
Now,
Right.
So most likely, if you do it from a production standpoint and generational, most likely you're going to pass the eye test.
Most likely.
Most likely.
Most likely.
There's a high chance. So let's talk about the production real quick. So what is it going to look like from a production standpoint, generational, for a running back, their first year in the league?
To be generational?
To be
consider
generational.
generational? Like if you consider generational, I need that. I need that damn near 2,000.
And I'm not talking about all purpose either. You got, if we're talking about generational, right? And we're talking about you one of them ones. I'm not gonna say you got to do exactly what Saquon did, but you got to do damn near what that is. If we're talking about that, you know what I'm saying? Like in year one, you coming in here and you on the track to get 2,000 rushing. Now we like, okay,
1,800. I'm gonna throw something out. Okay, 1,800, 1,800 yards. Is that
Rushing?
generational to you?
Rushing.
No, just all purpose. Because you said you said Saquon. You said Saquon did all purpose was 2,000, right?
2,000. Yeah.
So 1,800 all purpose for Genty is not generational for you. It's like
my minimum for him being worthy of a first round pick is 1,600. Minimum for him to prove, all right.
I mean,
I'm cool with going
I
first
mean, it's
round.
good, but nah, it's not.
Generational, yeah, bro. You got to do something that
You have to do
like,
that. Like, you have to get
within your
2,000.
first 3 years. You got to do something that, like, and maybe it's unfair to do it to say as a rookie. Within your first 3 years, you got to do something that ain't never been done before. You got to do something or damn near close. Like Saquon led the league in all-purpose yards as a rookie.
Yeah. And this is the
On
thing
a
too.
bad team.
On a terrible team,
And
that's
that was the
whole
last
thing,
generational
like,
back. And that was the last generational back. And
yeah,
you know,
on a terrible team.
And it's already going to be harder for Genty to say because like just the look of it. So Saquon is like 6 foot 220. You know,
And
Ashen Genty-
it's crazy too because
or 230.
two guys that you probably would consider maybe in the top 10, Bijan Robinson and old boy from the Lions.
Jahmyr Gibbs.
Jahmyr Gibbs. They really didn't start showing out until like recently. You know what I mean? Like Jahmyr Gibbs had his breakout season last year.
But they were both in timeshares though. That's the difference. They were both in timeshares.
And
He's
then
in
Bijan,
timeshare.
what I'm trying to say, Bijan, when he was drafted, they were like, he's arguably the best player in the draft.
He's like, yeah.
You know
But
what I'm saying?
nobody was throwing a generational tab on him though. That's the thing.
So
There's
what
a
if-
difference
what
between
if
you being the
Genty,
best player regardless of position and you being considered generational? Like most people said he was the best player regardless of position, but nobody was saying he was a generational like once every 15, 20 year type back because that was clearly Saquon who had came out not that long before that. So now people are trying to. It's been a little bit of space between him and Saquon.
Do you think, not to cut you off, do you think Frank Gore was generational?
No,
Generational? No.
he's not for generational.
He's top 3 in rushing yards or top 5.
He just had a long productive career.
He was on a long productive career.
I didn't watch him.
I'll be cool with that. I'll be happy with that.
But
If he
longevity
has a
is
long
crazy,
productive
though.
career, I'll be cool with that because we've had so many first round busts. It's like, but look, we've had so many first round busts that like if you look at our top 10 first round picks of the last 30 years, Sebastian Janikowski's in the top 10. Bro.
Yeah.
Our fucking kicker is in the top 10. That's how bad we've been in the first round. So like, if Genty just has a long productive career and he's like a good player, I wouldn't hate it. I still don't think we got good value. Like I don't think we got good value out of Sebastian Janikowski. But you know, if he turns out to be a good player, at the end of the day, you just want good players, and that's you know.
So let me ask y'all this question: if his first year he had 1,150 yards rushing and 7 tubs, and 4.8. He averaged 4.8 yards a carry. Let's just say that. So he had 1,100 yards, 7 tubs, and I'm gonna add like 400 yards receiving on that. So basically 1,500. Are you happy with that?
Sounds like Najee Harris first year in the league.
Sounds
like his exact same. Sounds like Najee Harris is exact.
I'm gonna tell you who it is, but I'm just asking the question.
Is it? I'm
1,100 rushing yards, and I'm adding some receiving yards onto this because this dude that I'm comparing him to didn't have this much. So I'm gonna guess that Genty would have like about 400 receiving yards, right? So 1,100 rushing yards, 400 receiving yards. We sitting there at the 1,500. How y'all feel on the season? And he has 7 touchdowns, by the way. 7 touchdowns.
That 7 touchdowns was kind of. I would prefer closer to double-digit touchdowns. If you were like 10, 11, I'd be like, all right, you know what? I want more yards, but them tugs make up for it.
Najee Harris had 1,200 yards rushing and 467 yards receiving.
Yeah, the dude I'm comparing him to is not even Najee. It's not even Najee who I'm comparing him to. But would you take that, Pharaoh?
Damn,
1,100 yards rushing.
Because the way I look at Najee is like kind of like, you know.
That's my point, though. That's my point. That's what I be telling people, bro.
He's like a borderline starter. He's a borderline starter.
And Najee had 10 tuds. He had, between his rushing and receiving, he had like 10 or 11 touchdowns.
But he averaged rushing, he averaged 3.9 yards attempt.
Yes, and his attempts was ass. That's why I added this dude that we comparing. He had 4.8. He averaged 4.8.
The 4.8. I would be.
That is nice.
How many? Yeah, no, that's good. That means like when you in there, you getting yours. But what I'm saying is, and he's in a top offense. Top running game, top offense.
I wouldn't say that. I would not say that.
I'd want more than that. I think
it got to be more context. It got to be more context.
I want more touchdowns than that. I want more touchdowns than that. I'm not hating on the yardage. Like I said, my minimum is 1,600. He's almost there, but I need more touch than that. I need like 10.
This dude, I'm comparing him to, that's Josh Jacobs' first year. That is Josh Jacobs' first year. Josh Jacobs' first year, he had 1,100 yards and 7 tubs. Now, Josh can't really catch the ball like that. He not no receiving back like that. But Genty, you would say around, you know what I mean, 500 yards, maybe if you add that on. But this the thing though, right? Like, think about Jacobs' first year. I mean, like it was okay. It wasn't bad. You know what I mean? It wasn't bad. But did you say something like that was generational his first year?
Nah.
Well, there you go. You know what I'm saying? Like, if he gives us some shit like that, then there we go.
He was good. He was really good.
He was really good. He was really good.
But no, part of the reason why he was good is because we had gone so long. Like the year before, we had like Doug Martin as a starter.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad.
It was like we was excited. It was we got us one.
No, it was a while since we've had a good running back for sure.
Yeah. So,
but I remember his first game, I think.
Because before that, like I guess you could say Murray. Latavius Murray.
Latavius Murray was real. He was real.
He was good, but he wasn't like special. Cool. He was good. He was good.
He was Najee Harris to me. He was like Najee Harris.
Yeah.
Borderline starter. Like Najee
he was
Harris
a
borderline starter.
Round dude, right? Like Latavius was a late round dude.
Yeah.
So then you can add that on to be like, that's more impressive.
More impressive.
See, that's for all the people that don't care about 6th-round picks. Murray was a 6th-round pick.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. That's more impressive than Najee being a first-round pick.
We can find starting running backs in the 6th round. Wow.
Hey,
ain't that something?
Nah, you do not want Najee. I don't like Najee at all, man.
Look,
I'm with you, man. I don't think he's all that great.
Well, the moral of the story, y'all, hey, look, the Raiders are going to be interesting. They're going to be a team to watch every Sunday because we're going to be trying to figure out this team, including the offense. I think that's where, like, the intrigue is, especially with Ashen Genty, Chip Kelly running the show, Geno Smith. You know what I mean? Like, before we get out of here, run down, like, I know we didn't really get in too much into, like, the final 53. What were your thoughts? Were there any surprises or anything like that from the 53?
We didn't keep Andre Carter. I wanted to keep Andre Carter. That would have been nice. I'm glad Greedy Vance stayed. So that was it right there. I feel like we all done talk Kenny Pickett to death. It don't make no goddamn sense. So, I mean, we're here. It's crazy, bro. I say it on Twitter, and then people try to like tell you how you feel. I'm like, bro, in my lifetime, in my lifetime, we've invested in Jamarcus Russell, right? That happened. But at the end of the day, bro, since that, we have had PTSD in drafting a quarterback and actually investing in one. You sold us that bullshit on Cam Miller. We knew it wasn't true. You know what I mean? Tom Brady wanted to do this with him and all that. No, that's not the long-term answer. But for right now, I'll say Geno is. I'm hoping that Geno has his Rich Gannon moment. That's what I'm hoping. That Geno have the Rich Gannon moment. Because if he does, we'll build to something. We're gonna be able to do some things. Which I don't see why anybody would be worried about Geno. Honestly, he played pretty good in the preseason.
Yeah, he looks good. And then, like, hey, if you combine just a solid or good QB with a great offensive coordinator or a good offensive coordinator, that in itself will make everything look good. So that's what I'm hoping for. That's what I'm saying. Like, the offense is going to be, like, the Raiders are going to be way more watchable than last year. That's guaranteed.
Oh yeah.
Like, it was hard watching the Raiders last year.
Back to the heartbreak stuff though, or the you know what I mean, where everybody got to have cardiac arrest in the fourth quarter. That's what
that's true.
Daniel Carson better be ready.
Woo! Hey, he's gonna make some bread this year, dog. He gonna make.
That's true. Yeah. But hey, if the Raiders can get out in front, you give Max and the boys, a lead, and they just pin their ears back and get after the quarterback, and then hopefully
we start fast, bro. If the season start fast, I think we'll be all right. We gotta start fast. That's the whole thing.
Definitely. I mean, week one, man. Like, Patriots, Raiders. What's your take on that game, man? Is it a winnable game? Is it going to be a tough game on paper? Like I know it's tough because when I look at it, I'm like, damn, it has the storylines. You got the Josh McDaniels. He's being severe. Like he's circled this game. He's been game planning. As soon as he got the job, he started game planning this game. Like he's the Raiders first game. And then you got the Travion Hendersons. You got the,
that's a personal storyline.
That's a personal storyline for some people. You know what I mean? But and then there's a guy that was linked to the Raiders, that head coach. Vrabel. You know what I mean? That was a guy that was like, I think, some people might say like, hey, he might would have came to the Raiders, but he was trying to bring Josh with him, and maybe that wasn't a good fit for him. But it is what it is. But my point is that do you think that's going to be a game where the Raiders can come out with a W?
I do think so. I know there's some people that are sweating a little bit. I do kind of sweat about Travion Henderson because the way Josh McDaniels can scheme it up. We can talk shit all we want, but as far as the offensive coordinator, he is like that. So the way he can scheme it up, he can easily get Travion Henderson on Elandon Roberts or Devin White, and we know what time it is after that. So after that, you know what I mean? He can easily do that. That does worry me. But what does not worry me is the fact that they newly acquired first-round pick. First game is against Max Crosby. So that right there, can actually, because if we know one thing about Max, he getting that zone, that rhythm, he really gonna disrupt the game. You know what I mean? And if we get what we can expect out of Malcolm Kuntz as well, they O-line ain't all that formidable. I will say that. Like, they added the pieces, but they O-line didn't sit there and become, the Eagles O-line overnight. So I think if we can get pressure on Drake May, we're gonna be all right. Because I think, we'll be able to overwhelm them on the offensive side.
Yeah. And like we said, man, if they obviously if they can get that, like, make them one-dimensional defense or offense, it jumps to early lead. And just makes it easier for Max Crosby and that D-line just to get after the quarterback. Makes it easy for everybody else. But that secondary, though, that's the...
Now, if Drake May is the second coming to Tom Brady, then
he had a solid rookie season, man. He had a solid rookie season. But then there's a factor. There is a factor with Josh McDaniels and his offense. And where they always... It takes a little bit while because it's a timing-based thing. And, it's going to just take more time. And you got a young guy. We'll see how Drake May kind of catches on to that offense, but we'll see, man. It's man. But hey, we appreciate everybody coming through. Make sure to clock in at this point, clock out, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Spillane, I forgot Spillane is up in there with the Patriots. Yeah, he's gonna have
and Caleb Vine.
Getting Genty on Spillane don't sound bad to me though. I ain't gonna lie to you. That don't sound bad to me.
In pass coverage, I ain't mad at that at all. I ain't mad at that at all.
You figure that out right there.
I ain't mad at that at all. That old,
facts. Hey,
but we talk about that matchup though. It's a little bit different, but remember how Joe Alt did Max Crosby week 1 last year.
I don't think your boy's Joe Alt though. I don't think Joe Alt.
I don't know. His arm shorter. that's where Max might be able to get him. That's where Max might be able to get him.
One little swipe, man. We good. You know what I'm saying? We gonna be all right.
All right, player of the game, week 1.
Geno Smith.
Total?
Okay.
A total? Just like total of the game? Like
just the entire game. Who's gonna if the Raiders win, who's gonna be the guy that like leads the way? Is it gonna be Geno Smith? Is it going to be a huge game from Genty? Oh, Jacoby.
Jacoby Myers. And then Jacoby Myers walks past the press box like Geno walked past the fans.
There you go.
Pay
that man, by the way, before we get out of here, bro. Pay that man, please. Like, let's just get rid of that. Stop it. Brock, okay, yeah, Brock too.
Yeah, but I think they're gonna do everything in their power to not let Brock win it. If they let Brock get off,
they're gonna put Gonzalez on him.
I was going to ask
They're
you.
gonna do everything in their power to make sure Brock don't.
Y'all think Gonzalez is like Surtain though? That's my question. I don't know if I can do that.
Good. He's good, but
he ain't Surtain though. He ain't.
He's a bigger guy though too.
He's a taller guy, but he's not big. He's slim.
Surtain
he's slim.
Built,
yeah, Surtain is built a little bit, more sturdy. But Gonzalez is a better athlete though.
Yeah.
We'll see if they do that. Then it's gonna.
I think Brock can eat against Gonzalez because he's just gonna body him up. He's just gonna be physical.
I'm talking about who the hell else finna get open. What's happening?
Oh yeah, they got it. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's why I said Jacoby. I think they're gonna make sure Brock don't get off. That's why I think Jacoby's gonna get off.
Yeah. Amari Cooper.
That'd be dope. That'd be a great story. That would make a good show. Like if we come back after week 1, we win, and Amari Cooper has a great game. That'd be like a dope show. Man. It's like he's reunited. That'd be dope. That'd be dope. That'd be fun.
He's motivated. You know what I mean? Hopefully, Marcus didn't really give me a lot of hope that he's gonna be a guy that's gonna be a factor this year. Hopefully he is. We really didn't have too much time to talk about Brandon Jackson. He's an interesting guy though. They picked up
that I like.
Like a guy that a little bit he kind of had a good preseason. He looked at his numbers and he looked like he could be another guy that you could add to that pass rusher room. So I like it from the standpoint of a younger player to develop. I mean, what do you think of him?
That one I liked for sure. Like you said, I think this was the more like, we had Chase on last year and he was that like little addition. And I'm looking like, and I don't think we really had that. Now looking at this dude, I think you could kind of just throw him in there a little bit and just say, hey, see ball, get ball. You know what I mean? He had like what 3 sacks and 4 tackles for loss in 3 games. That's what he had. Like I'll take that all day to my bank. Yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm gonna go with Genty. I think Genty gonna have a big game. If the Raiders win week 1, which they have it's a winnable game, but I feel like week 1, man, anything could happen. I think Genty has a statement game.
They D-line is real though. They D-line is real.
D-line is here. Christian Barmore. They got D-line. That's why I'm not saying Genty, because I think it might end up being a high scoring affair. Because you got Eric Stokes and Caillou Blue Kelly or Darren Porter trying to guard Kyle Williams and Stephon Diggs and like.
Oh yeah, Stephon.
It'll be ugly, bro. That's why I'm like, we'll see. And they just signed, I think they signed Milton Williams in the offseason too from the Eagles. So they got Milton Williams and they got Christian Barmore. So it's ain't no joke.
Yeah. Rock is predicting a rookie. Dante might have a game. We'll see.
Oh, that'd be solid.
I
would love that.
I'd like to see if one of our rookies get off. If any of our rookies get off, I'll be happy. Any of the rookies get off, that'd be dope.
Facts.
Oh yeah, definitely, because there'll be a huge confidence boost for them, and they can obviously get better from there. But man, rundown, man. Let the people know where they can find you, what to look forward to all that good stuff.
Well, man, y'all already know, man. It's at the Raider Rundown. If you're looking for me on YouTube, pretty much that's where you can find everything else, man. So just go ahead, travel up to the YouTube page, man. We're trying to hit that 3K on the third season. So yeah, 3K on the third season. We almost there, and then I'm doing a Geno Smith jersey giveaway as soon as I do hit the 3K. So make sure y'all tune in. My next show will be on Saturday with my dog Jay for Good Morning Raiders, 10 o'clock Pacific time. If y'all trying to tune in.
Definitely check that out. I'm gonna put the link of your channel in the chat. My mods. I'm just not sure if everybody's here. Hold on, let me put that in there. Boom. We got to set it up for you. Okay. There you go. There you go, man. Yeah. Now, if you haven't subscribed, definitely subscribe to Raider Rundown. He's putting in work out here. Does a great Raider content. Man, you got a few shows. I see you got a show with Mike. You got obviously you got a show with Jay coming up. You got your own show. You got a show with Turf. I know you and Severe and the boys got your own show. Like it's, man, you a busy man.
Yeah. Oh, hey, I gotta plug it. I got to plug it too. I might be doing some more stuff with Raider Alex as well post game. You feel what I'm saying? We might be doing some more stuff right there. We got a little something worked out.
Definitely check them out. Severe, man. Let the people know where they can find you, what to look forward to, all that good stuff.
You guys know what it is, man. The Severe Raider here on YouTube, IG, Snapchat, TikTok, X, Twitch, Kick, everywhere. The Severe Raider here, man. Around the Shield, man. Thursday nights with my guy PharoahNFL, man. We got some pretty exciting stuff lined up. So make sure y'all tap in, man. We're gonna be doing some interesting content coming up. You know, switching it up a little bit. So make sure you lock in. Obviously, Tuesday night the 50-50 show with Pharaoh as well. Sundays and Wednesdays, I'm with my guys Chris from Protect the Shield and 805 Raider in the Raider War Room. You know, we go over film usually one of those days. So if you guys looking to see the actual performance behind some of the numbers, sometimes people will be out here telling y'all, trying to sell y'all a story, sell y'all a narrative, tell y'all somebody played better than they did, or somebody's on the verge of a breakout. And when you actually look at the film, you know, the film tells a different story. As they say, the eye in the sky don't lie. So make sure y'all tap in with your boy. And like I said before, at the Severe Raider on IG, send me those clips. I'm waiting for them. Send me those clips.
All right, man. Hey, yeah, obviously yours truly, PharoahNFL. You find me all over social media. Like Severe said, man, we do a weekly shows, 50-50 next week on Tuesday, Around the Shield every Thursday. Make sure to have a guest. That's our goal, have a guest every Thursday. So definitely be on the lookout for that. Obviously, new content, be on the lookout. Make sure to hit that notification bell. And give us a follow on Around the Shield on X and on IG for the latest and greatest with the Raiders and all that good stuff, and clips of the shows and all that good stuff. So definitely give us a follow there. We're trying to grow that, build that up. And yeah, man, we appreciate everybody pulling up, man. Just on the way out, man, just clock out, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We're going live on both our channels, me and Severe, and obviously Raider Rundown. You see his links in the chat. Definitely head over and subscribe to my guy. Any last thoughts before we head out, man?
Hey, let's just get a dub next week, man. You get a dub, I think we can all come out here and just feel good. I just want to get a dub.
Tremendous weight off our shoulders, man. If we lose, I tell you this. Genty better play better than Travion. That's all. Genty better. Even if we lose, I'ma still be mad. But if Genty ball out, I'm like, all right, cool. A little bit of
a little weight off my shoulder.
But if Travion plays better than y'all would never hear the end of it. I will talk about that one. Travion can do nothing else the entire year. Y'all will never hear the end of that one game.
That's hilarious, man. Hey, man, we'll see y'all soon, man. We'll see y'all next week.
Yes, sir. Peace.
Hello? You play to win the game. You don't play to just play it.